Okay, and then after I put leave-in of some type in there, I still have it sopping wet. So I've scrunched it with my towel. I no longer rub the towel against my hair, and I got this towel that I was using. You see what brand it is. I got it on Amazon. It's supposed to be good for curly hair. You can use a t-shirt. You just don't want a regular terry cloth towel because it pulls out your curls. And then you want it sopping wet. Like, listen. Still sopping wet. And at this point, I'm done using that towel, except to maybe dry my hands. Then, from here on out, I use this shiny towel. This is the one that matches my brush. Oh, perfect hair care towel. It's see-through, it's shiny. It literally dries nothing, but it helps distribute the moisture evenly throughout my hair and the product, whatever I put in it. And you use whatever leave-in product you want. I'm just gonna share what I do. So I even have this, which is like conditioner and water, a leave-in conditioner maybe, and water. I actually mixed a bunch of other stuff in there. And then I'm gonna use this brush and go over it. Doesn't go all the way through, so then I also do underneath. You can watch curl clumps start to form. If it's wet enough, that's why you want it really wet. Some people apply their products in the shower, but do you see that, how some of these are starting to form? And then you can squish them. Oops. Or just cup them if you don't want to squish them. And that's where I use this towel, because I don't want to dry anything out and I don't want to dry my hair, but I do want to squish these out and scrunch them. Also, something I learned in the shower, like about putting my conditioner in, is once I get my conditioner in the shower, I squish it also this way. It's squished to condition. You can even apply it to your hair that way. You just squish it in. I feel like all the dry parts of my hair grab the conditioner that way, but do you see? And now, we'll see. Kind of shake it, just kind of shake it this way to go upright. And that's really it. And then I can squish it some more into place. You can brush it more at this point if you want to. Just use a really gentle brush, like a wet brush. And that's where I like this one. Okay, when it's this sopping wet, I'm going to somehow style this. I might use my pick, just kind of get the part that I want, let it kind of fall. And I might just go over it with that. See how you kind of like smooth to the back of the brush, and then you can squish it up some more. Same on this side. Whichever ones I kind of messed up. And now, while it's still sopping wet, this is when I'm gonna put mousse or gel in it. People who use gel like to emulsify it with a bunch of water, which is kind of cool. And it spreads more evenly. See how I get that better curl clump when I do that? And you can kind of twist it if you want to and shape it. Just use the back of the brush. I don't know if this is the best angle, but whatever. And twist it if you need it to help that curl along. I did this a lot, especially when I first started doing this, because I'd been straightening my hair so many years that I needed to help my curls a little bit more. If it's starting to dry, I'll just add more water, just straight water, to my hair before I add the mousse. I'm gonna use this one. This is a pretty popular one. Seems like the Not Your Mother's. I don't know if all of these are Curly Girl approved. I kind of do a modified one with what works for my hair. And then now I'm just gonna start, I'll like glaze it over a little bit. So I make sure I get the top. And then squish it in. Literally look at how much I'm using. I can barely like soak it up. And so I'll keep doing that Now it's starting to squish in, and I'll use my black towel to squish it in even more if I need to. And I'll just go around my head and do this. Okay, you hear that? It's really wet. Oops. And really squishing it in. Just to get as much into my hair and into that water as I can. You see, the more wet it is. I used to do this really dry, like really dry my hair a bunch before. And now I do it super wet. So then I just wipe my hands off on here, because then as I squish it with this, it'll just put it in my hair more. You can like diffuse it upside down. I've started doing it upright and I like it a little bit better. And you can kind of see where things are gonna form and how they look. Some people like to take diva clips and clip up so it's not so flat on top of their head. I don't know, I haven't mastered that yet. At this point, if I still want to form some curls, I can still do it because it's still super wet. So I'm just gonna do that and then kind of twist it the way I want it to go. Hopefully it does a little bit looser curl than last week. Okay, a lot of people have really fancy diffusers and they love the Dyson, it seems like. I don't have the Dyson, so I'm just gonna use what I have right now, which is just this and the diffuser that came with it. But a couple of tips I learned is I'm gonna turn the sound off in a second, but I will hover over like this and dry the roots like this. And I'll hover underneath and dry the roots. And then once a lot of that is getting dry and crispy, then I'll go to the ends and diffuse them up. Okay, now that I'm almost done, let me show you. I like to hang it as far off the side of my head as I can when I go up underneath. Some people will like squish it all the way up to their head. I don't like how my curls form like that. For other people, it works really well. So I just kind of do the ends and I hover like this way off my head and underneath like this. I do a lot of this hovering like that before I even do the ends, just because I don't want it as curly as it can go. I used to always diffuse my head like upside down, but then I never really knew how it was gonna fall and it was all crazy. So now I do it upright like this, but hang it to the side on both sides as far as I can. Okay, it's probably about like 75% dry, maybe a little bit more. I have to go make lunch anyway, so I'm just gonna go let it dry all the way and I'm just not gonna touch it. I just kind of like swing my head like this and leave it like this. Let me see if I can show you the back at this angle. I don't know. Can you see the back? I just did it all the way around my whole head. It's pretty curly, so I'm just gonna let it air dry the rest of the way. Okay, it's fully dry. It's all crispy the way we used to wear it in the 90s and didn't know any better. So you can see, like, you see if I can show you, see how stiff it is. It's all crispy everywhere. So this is when I take some type of serum or oil. I use this one just because I happen to use it and like it. There are lots of different ones out there. This is just what I use. So I just pump into my hand, rub it all over, so it's all over my fingers. So hopefully you can see this. And then just start scrunching into that crispiness. You just keep going. And then on the other side. I don't know if you can see it starting to fluff out a little bit. I will have to flip it over. It's called Scrunch Out the Crunch, I think they call it. You're breaking that cast that's formed by the gel or mousse or whatever. So, and with the oil on my hands, I can separate some of these and continue to scrunch. And that's it. Starts to get fluffier and not so crispy. And then if you have it on your fingertips, you can even kind of break the cast that way, right against your scalp. Sorry. And then it's a lot fluffier and softer. There you go, you can see. And you just keep doing it until it's the consistency or as curly and soft as you want. But now these curls are softer. I might have to do more oil on my fingertips and just kind of massage into my scalp to make sure it's not stuck right there. I kind of scoot it up and lift it. See if I can disregard my messy counter. So these are still a little bit crispy, so I'll just keep squishing those and scrunching those. There you go. Break that up a little bit. Yeah. The simplest trick that we just had no idea about. Okay, there, I scrunch some more. And I'll flip this side over and kind of scrunch this way and then flip back to the other side and do it that way and then kind of let it fall where it will, or you can kind of move it over if you want to.